Good morning. It is time for English again, and it seems as if we've got another message from Dr. Zargle. Let's find out what he has got to say to us.
Yes, Dr. Zargle here. Thank you for your help. I now know what a report is. Thank you as well for your work on the features of reports. That has helped me to find out that when I write my report, I need to give it a heading, as subheadings, and maybe include some photographs and captions, give more information. So thank you. Now, today's job. Well, Lord Zasbet has been back communicating with me, and he has asked me to find out how to plan a report. He has mentioned something called a concept map. So I wonder, can you find out what a concept map is? How is it used, and how can it help me when I'm writing my report? I look forward to hearing from you. Goodbye.
Right, well, thank you, Dr. Zargle, for that message. So, Lord Zasbit has been back in touch with Dr. Zargle, and he's asked him to find out more about something called a concept map. Okay, so not only did he ask him what is a concept map, but he also asked him how it's it. How is it? And we should know this as a split oo sound, used, used. You've got that D make a t sound there, used. How is it used? How can it help to no, that's a silent W we looked at yesterday. Split I, I. How can it help to write a r? Remember this word from yesterday, ought. So how is a concept map used, and how can it help you to write a report? So that's what we're going to look at this morning, something called a concept map. So I went onto Google and I typed that into my search engine to find out what a concept map is. So let's have a go at reading it. So can we see here, this is the word concept. Concept is another word for an idea. It's an idea map, really. Now, you see this word comes up a lot of times in this definition here. So we don't need to sound that word out now, because we should be able to recognize it and the shape of the letters together. And the word map is quite a short word as well, so we shouldn't need to sound that out. Okay, so a concept map is a way, that's a, stay away, a way, remember this is under tricky words, of r, e, rep. Oh, hang on, this word looks familiar. This looks like the word we did the other week in maths. Let's see if we're right. Representing. Now I do remember the other week when we were doing maths and looking at representing numbers to 50, and you had to go at representing numbers using concrete apparatus and using jottings as well. So maybe this is going to be helpful if we remember that and keep that in our heads when we're doing this work, because it's linked to that learning. So concept map is a way of representing, that's a long word here, that's how I go at sounding it out, or info. Do you want to have a guess at that word? Because I think we could know from the start what that word may be, because what inform, inform, oh, hang on, we recognize this one from our last session. This is a information. A concept map is a way of representing information. Is this no, that doesn't work, does it? Is maybe you. Is you could that be e dating happy? Is you visually. Hang on, we did some work before about the word visuals, and we talk about our visual timetable when we're in the classroom. So that must mean that's something that you can see. So a concept map is a way of representing information visually, a way that you can see it. And we should recognize this word. It shows. Oh, now that nearly tricked me there because I had throw the snow here, but it doesn't work here, does it? Ow, turn that frown upside down, that must be. It shows how, now I remember this word, I said it before, it's concepts, and does that mean being? No, maybe not maybe no, oh, hang on, we talked about this word before. Could that be? Let's see. Let's miss out that word for a moment. Let's have a look at the next one. Oh, I recognise this one. We talked about this tricky word yesterday. That's R, and let's have a get some of this word. L-I. That's nk. Wink, wink. L-ink. And an ed. That could be a d. Could be ed. Could be t. L-ink. Oh, it's a t. So it shows how concepts and are linked. Now I did think about before. We did say about the word ideas, and that word looks like it possibly could be the word ideas, even with that sort of naughty sound there. So I think that's what I'm going to guess, because I know the rest of the sentence. I think that word I've worked out as being the word ideas. So a concept map shows how concepts and ideas are linked. Now this is one of our tricky words from year 1, so we should be able to recognize this as the word you, and we should be able to read this word without sounding out. This is can. Make a shake. You can make a concept map by, now we talked about this yesterday, didn't we? This silent W. So we'll just ignore that. Writting, maybe not writting. Maybe that's an I being slightly naughty there. Writing. You can make a concept map by writing, and that's, I think that's Journey Down the Valley, isn't it? Words, keywords. That doesn't sound right. Maybe that's a naughty, or maybe it's making another vowel sound. Words, keywords. No, maybe it's one of those naughty like Twirl the Girl or Water the Flowers. Words. Keywords. You can make a concept map by writing keywords. Yeah, that seems to make sense, doesn't it? Oh, now I've got some brackets here, which has given me some more information. Somi. No, it doesn't sound right. Maybe that's silent. Some. As Tim's. No. Maybe that's split I. I smile crocodile. Sometimes, that sounds right. Sometimes, and that looks like split E again. So sometimes these, I recognise that one from yesterday, are put itns, I, split I again, smile crocodile, itns, I'd. We recognise that word as of. As shappers. No, maybe that's a split. That could be a split digraph there, couldn't it? Shapes. Sometimes these are put inside as shapes. Choo. Such as all circles. No, hang on. If I know that it says before, sometimes these are put inside the shape, such as. That must be a name for a shape. So that could possibly be, I don't know, a shape named Kirkle. So maybe it's one of those naughty words that instead of having the C has got what we call a soft C there, making the S sound instead. So maybe that could be no, that's not right. Maybe one of them's a soft C and one of them's a normal C. Circles. We got there in the end. Sometimes these are put inside a shape such as circles. And then drow? No. Or, maybe that's claw your paws. Or king of the swing. Drawing. Lins. No, I think it might be another split digraph. Lines. Maybe it's what in between the, hang on, I recognize that word again. That's a word we struggled with, but I remembered that in my front of my brain there. That was the word ideas, and then drawing lines between the ideas, the at and that. Remember this word is are, linked. So a concept map is a way of representing information visually. It shows how concepts and ideas are linked. You can make a concept map by writing keywords. Sometimes these are put inside of shapes such as circles, and then drawing lines between the ideas that are linked. Okay, so that's the definition. That tells us what a concept map is. Really what we need to do, and to help Dr. Zagler, is we need to be able to know how to use one. Okay, so here is an example of a concept map. I just want you to have a look at that for a moment, and I want you to answer these questions for me. So, what is the concept map about? How has it been organized? And what is it there that helps you as a reader to know what some of those words mean? Okay, so what is it about? Well, our eyes draw, there's lots and lots of circles there, lots of pictures, lots of information. But I don't know about you, but my eyes went straight to this word here in the middle because it had that bold, slightly dark writing there. And you'll be able to see, I'm sure that you already sound this out, and I think there's some clues around the side there. Winter. So this concept map is all about winter. Now I talked about how it's been organized. Now can you see that it's been using, like we said before, concept maps use shapes such as circles. There's lots of circles here, aren't there? So this one is the main one. So this is the title of, or it's almost like the heading, isn't it? The heading of the concept map, because it's the most important one. It's that slightly darker writing. Now from there, can you see all these lines that come off? And these are showing those connections. Again, these are showing how the ideas are linked, how they are connected to one another. So from that main theme or topic about winter, we can see that there are 1, 2, 3 sort of what we call sections. So can we see over here? Tricky one, that one, sounding out, but there's some clues here that might help. I can see there's a picture, the representations here. That's right, there's a hat, and it says that the same there, and a scarf. So I can tell that this section here of the concept map must be about clothes. And these words around it must all again be linked. So what's this section about? That's right, it's about weather. You can see there's some pictures at the side. I think there's only one picture there, but some key words that are linked to weather in the winter time have been written around the outside. So you'll notice words like snow, frost. Okay. Then we've got a third section over here. Now, this is a tricky word. I'm gonna have a go at sounding out. K, e, l, e, b, r, a, and that sh sound again. Sh, s. Now, again, it's a soft C. So instead of being a k, it's s, e, l, e, b, r, a, sh, s. That's right, celebrations. So these words here, again, link, and you'll be able to pick out, by pausing the video and just reading themselves, those celebrations that take place in winter. So you can see there that that is a concept map, and that's how it works. It's a way of collecting and showing visual information. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to go back and look at our report from yesterday, all about pandas. You'll remember this one, and we used this report yesterday to identify the key features of a report, which were 4 different features. See if you name them now. That's right, they were number 1, heading, number 2, subheadings, number 3, photograph, and number 4, captions. But we're not going to be looking at those at the moment, because what we're going to do is we're going to look at how a writer uses a concept map to help them write a report. Okay, now you'll say, well, actually, Mr. Mabbutt, I can see that they've finished the report. So what we're going to do actually is we're going to work backwards. So instead of using a concept map to make a report, we're going to use a report to make a concept map. Okay, we're going to do the inverse today. Right. So to start our concept map, we need to identify what is it about. What is the theme or the topic of this report? Now, the easiest thing to do is look at the report on the left-hand side and use the heading to help you. That's right. The report was all about pandas, so our concept map will still be all about pandas. Okay, now what we need to do is we've got our main theme there, and from that we need to do those smaller sections. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to use the subheadings to help us. Okay, so how many subheadings are there in the report about pandas? That's right, there were two, weren't there? There were two subheadings in the report about pandas. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a circle for each of those, like this. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take those subheadings, because those are what each section is going to be about. So I've got the subheading here, what do pandas eat? And this subheading here, what do pandas do? Now they are different to one another. That's why I've spaced them out using these lines to show you that while they're still connected to my main theme, my heading all about pandas, they are still different. So what I'm going to do in a moment is I'm going to start to put in some information into each of those sections. Now, those subheadings help us, really do help us to organize our ideas. Okay. Now, this is the tricky bit. And this is the tricky bit that we find when the report is written, because what we need to do is to understand how a concept map is used. We need to be able to identify keywords. Okay, now keywords are words that are important. They are words that important to the theme or the topic of the report. So our keywords here are all going to be about pandas. What do pandas eat and what do pandas do? So keywords can be things like nouns. So those are names of things. Table, chair, window are all nouns. They are names of real things, names of concrete things. You can have nouns as well being abstract as well, like thoughts, which is something that you can't really see or touch, but you know is a thing. As well as looking for nouns, you might also identify keywords as being verbs, doing our action words. Okay, so run, jog, jump, sit, sleep. Those might be some of the verbs that you identify as being important, being key pieces of information. They might even be adjectives. They might be even adjectives about the colour of something, describing words such as the size, the shape, or the texture. So what you need to do now is you need to have a look at the Panda report and have a go at identifying any of these keywords. So what you need to do is look at one section first and then look at the next section. So it might be a good idea on a piece of paper just to get a piece of paper now and see if you can have a go at making a list of words that you can find in each section. If you've got this report printed off at home, you can use it with me, and what you can do is you can get a pen and you can highlight, you can colour in the words that you think are key words. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is to pause the video now and make a list of or highlight the key words in the report. Okay, so keywords. Now, these are the keywords that I highlighted when I was looking over the report about pandas. So you'll see that I started first of all in the section about what pandas eat. Now, I didn't highlight anything in the subheading because while that is still important, I've already put that into one of those circles to organize that. So I don't really need to go over that again. So from the sentence, so pandas are very fussy eaters, I took the word eaters, being a noun of what they are, and also fussy. I thought it was quite important to put that in. In the next statement, the next sentence, most pandas only eat bamboo, a type of grass. I thought it was important to have the noun, the name of that special type of grass, bamboo. And I also thought maybe I might need to have in a definition there of what bamboo is. Bamboo is a type of grass. Okay, so you can see that I've got 1, 2, 3 words there. Not a lot of information. What do pandas do? Pandas spend most of their time eating or sleeping. So what I've done there is I've highlighted 2 words. Now, if you know already, those are verbs, but they're verbs in the continuous sense because they both end with ing, eating, sleeping, to show that something is ongoing. So what I've done there is I've highlighted those as being the key words. Maybe you chose some different words as well as mine. Okay, so what I did then is using, after highlighting those words from my report on pandas, what I've done is I've then started to organize them into my concept map. So let's have a look here first of all. So what do pandas eat? Well, I've drawn here the bamboo and I've written the word underneath. You could even sound button it if you want to, but and I've also, remember I said I wanted to have that definition there, that type of grass. I also put down here fussy eaters, and I've put a symbol that represents no, because I'm sure if you're fussy, you'll know that there's some food that you won't eat. So I put that there to remind me. Okay, now what do pandas do? Here I've included those verbs of eat and sleep, and I've drawn some representations. I've done there of a mouth chomping away, and here I've got somebody sleeping, and I've got the Z's there to show that they're sleeping. Okay, so what I've done is I've looked at the report, I've identified the key words, and then what I've done is I've drawn representations and written some of those key words and created my own concept map. Okay, now it's important as well you to use lines to connect those ideas, as I've done there. Okay, so you can see how creating a concept map based on a report, we're now able to understand how a writer plans. So we can see, looking at this, this is how the writer went about writing their report before they did it. They chose they were going to write a report about pandas. They then created a concept map thinking, what do I want to write about? Well, I want to write about what pandas do. I want to write about what pandas eat. Then what they've done is they've added information into each of those sections by either writing them or drawing visual representations. And this is important for us as well, because what we're going to do is next week, we're going to have a go at creating our own concept maps and using these concept maps to write. So it's important that we understand how they work. Okay, so your challenge. I've got 2 challenges for you today. The first one is based upon this report here about tigers. So what I would like you to do, I would like you to take this report and turn it into a concept map. So remember, you need to start with a heading first of all. Then I want you to create sections based on the subheadings. Now there's a few more here. There is also, just to let you know, there is a did you know section. You might want to include that as one of your subheadings as well, and give it its own separate section. Okay, now after you've done that comes the tricky part, because what you need to do is you need to go through this report and highlight any words that you think are important in key words. Remember, those can be nouns, the names of things. They can be verbs, doing words or action words, or they can be adjectives. Okay, then what you need to do is you then need to write or draw visual representations, small pictures in each of the sections, just like I did with the panda report. Now, here's something that I need to remind you of right now. I know it's tempting to add your own ideas or facts that you know about tigers, but please do not. We're not doing that at the moment. We'll come on to making our own concept maps next week, but what you need to get used to doing at this point in time, we're looking at how a writer creates a report using a concept map. So it's important that we use the information that we've already got in this report. Now, Okay, so here's another challenge. The reason why I've added in another challenge is this is quite a complex report. Now, not everybody's going to get on to doing this, but you might want to have a go at giving yourself this challenge of turning this report, which is all about winter, into a concept map. The reason why I've given you this a challenge because it's got so much information. It's got some fantastic, really excellent key vocab in there, key words that the writer has used. And what I want you to do is just have a go. Maybe you just want to do one of the sections in this one. Maybe you can do all of them. I was going to say all three of them. That's how many there are. So that's your challenge. Okay, so our learning. We've been learning this morning about concept maps and how they are used to create a report. So what I would like you to do is, just to finish this session, is to turn to your grown-up or person at home or person next to you and see if you can give answers for each of these questions. Number one, what is a concept map? Number two, how is it used? And number three, how can it help us to write a report? Okay, so I look forward to Dr. Zargle giving us another task to do next week. But for now, it's goodbye from me and it's goodbye from Dr. Zargle.